Hi guys. So this is my first time doing like a full ranking video, but I am going to be ranking every single book I've read this year. However, at the beginning of this year, I was reading this mystery series, but it was like a really long series, and I'm really not counting that because I was reading it for school. So that's like 10 books, but they were all not interesting or anything. And I'm also not counting books that I have reread, so no rereads. Alright, so in total, that's 28. Nope, that's 24 books. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's because, like I said, we're not counting those other books that I read. Okay, starting off, dead last, 24th place. I'm gonna get a few haters on this one. The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This book was not it for me. I didn't even finish it. This is the first book that I have ever DNF'd. And I feel really bad for that. So I will be rereading it, or at least finishing it at some point, right? I'm gonna give it another chance. I'm gonna reread it, and it'll probably be higher up on my list when I reread it, but I don't think I was in the right mindset, so I didn't finish it, and yeah. But number 24, The Grandest Game. Next up, number 23. This was a close one. It was basically tied with 24, but I put it up one more because I did actually finish it, and it's Shatter Me. You guys seem to love Shatter Me. I haven't read the whole series. I've only read this book, and this one was not it. It was kind of awful in my opinion. But yeah, it wasn't interesting to me. I didn't like it. I will be finishing the series, but it just wasn't it for me. Next up, I read this one on an ebook, but it's Catching Fire in the Hunger Games series. This one, I didn't like this book in the series. It wasn't good. It didn't catch my attention. It was better than Shatter Me, though. But yeah, that's why it's number 22. Alright, now, 21. I might get some hate for this one, but it's The Elite by Kiera Cass. This was not a good book in the series. I've seen a review from another booktuber about this book, and they said that they didn't like it for basically the same reasons that I didn't really like it. And the issue was that it was mostly focused on the love triangle, and there wasn't much progression. It was kind of just a filler book, and that didn't interest me. So that's why it is number 21. Number 20. Ooh, people are gonna hate me with this one. The Hawthorne Legacy. This one wasn't that interesting to me. Again, it kind of felt like a filler book. The mystery wasn't as interesting as the others. It just wasn't really it. The other two books are a bit higher up in the list, but this one I just didn't really like. So yeah. Next up at number 19 we have The Hunger Games. Again, read it on an ebook, but it was okay. I liked it a lot more than some of these books. It was pretty good. I liked the plot, and I liked the writing style. It's just, I don't know, I can't remember much about it, which doesn't lead me to believe that it was that good. So yeah, number 19, The Hunger Games. And at number 18, we have a book that not many people know about, but it's in a series. This book is Never Fade, and it is from the Darkest Mind series. This book was actually really good. It had me crying at the end. But we're kind of getting into the books that are kind of hard for me to be ranking, because there's a few that are quite obviously for me dead last, and a few that are quite obviously in the very top few that were so good that, like, obviously they're in the top. But this one, it was okay. It was obviously not as good as the other books. It didn't feel like just a filler book, but it was sad. It was good. I just didn't like it as much as the other books in the series. Next up, we have Mockingjay, the third book in the Hunger Games series. It's also the top ranking out of the three of them for me. I thought it was okay. It had a good ending to the series. It was interesting, kept me on my feet. But again, I don't really remember that much about it. So I don't know if it's that good of a book. Next up, we have at number 16, we have The Selection. This book was really good. This entire series kept me on my toes, had me, I did not want to put the book down. It was really good, and it was really interesting. The reason it's so low on the list, and I'm counting 16 as low, because I only am ranking 24 books, but I'm counting this one as low on the ranking because it's not in the halfway mark. But anyway, it was a really good book. It was really interesting. I liked it way more than The Elite, and it was pretty good. Next up, we have The One, the third not final book in the series, but the third book about America. And I liked this book. This one was really good. It had a lot of plot twists, a few cliffhangers, and it was really interesting. It went on a path that I was not expecting at all, and I still don't know if I like that or hate that, which is why it's a little bit low in the list. At number 14, we have The Inheritance Games. This book was, like, really good. After the first 15%. No, that's wrong. After the first 25%. I really liked it. Like, in the beginning, it was kind of slow. Actually, not 25. It was, like, halfway through the book. It was super slow. And then finally, it picked up, like, after the halfway mark somewhere. And it then got really good, and I could not put it down. I stayed up until 2 in the morning finishing it. It was really interesting. I loved it. It was a really good book. At number 14, no, this is number 13, we have A Curse for True Love. This was a really interesting book. However, it's pretty low because I hope this doesn't spoil it for anybody, but if you don't want the spoiler, skip ahead 10 seconds right now. But basically, I don't like the memory loss trope. I don't like that. That wasn't interesting to me. And that was like most of the books, so it didn't have my interest, and it finally got good about halfway through, 75% through, and that is why it's higher than a lot of the other books, but lower than a lot of the other books. So yeah. At number 12, we have The Final Gambit. This book was my favorite in the original 3-book series. I really liked the ending. I really liked the plot. I loved the romance. I don't know what else to say because I read it a while ago and I don't remember much about it, but I remember really liking it. I remember thinking it was the best in the series. Yeah. Next up at number 11, Sadly, this book didn't make the top 10, and I'll have a few people coming after me for that. But it's Fearless. Honestly, this was my least favorite in the series. I don't think I was in a good headspace for it. I think that was the issue. I do want to reread it at some point before Fearful, because I know that was released today. Fearless just kind of wasn't it for me, and it was good. It just wasn't as good as some of the others. Yeah. And then at number 10, we're at the final 10 right now. At number 10, we have Powerless. This book was so good. I really loved it. It was, like people say, it had the aspect of the Hunger Games in it. And I like that it was mixed in to be more fantasy rather than what the Hunger Games was. But I did like the Hunger Games plot, which is why it was a higher number than some of the other books. And I really liked this book, and I love Kian Payton, and I love the whole story, and I love that plot twist at the end. Chef's kiss. It was so good. I love this series, love this book, love it all. At number 9, I think it's 9, right? Yeah. At number 9, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart. I really loved this book. I actually don't remember how it ends. I remember liking it. I remember it being good. I remember everything in the second and third book. Don't know why I can't remember this one much. But I remember loving it and it being really good. So, yeah. It was like a 4-star read for me. It was pretty good. And at number 8, we have The Brothers Hawthorne. This is the 4th book in the Inheritance Games series. I don't know if it counts as, like, in the actual series or if it counts as just another book in the series. But I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It was my favorite in the whole series. I've only read the Inheritance Games, the Hawthorne Legacy, the Final Gambit, this one, The Brothers Hawthorne. And I started The Grandest Game, and I do have Games Untold to read after I retry The Grandest Game. But yeah, this book, really good. Loved it. I definitely recommend it. Next up we have Reckless at number 7. Reckless was so good. I liked it the most out of the 3 original books in the series. I thought it was really good. A lot of people say that they didn't like it that much and that it was boring and just there to be a filler book. I disagree. I loved it. The romance in this book was so good. The banter and the plot and that twist at the end. I reread that epilogue so many times while I was waiting for Fearless to be released. But yeah, Reckless, masterpiece. It was so good. At number 6, we have In the Afterlight. This book brought me to tears. This is another book in the Darkest Minds series. It was really good. Like I said, Never Fade was a really good book, and it also made me cry, but this one, so much better. Amazing. I loved it. It was so good, and I was crying for days about this book. Next up, number 5. We're into the top 5 right now. Next up, we have Powerful. This book was the only book that had me sobbing in this series, in the Powerless series. This book had me sobbing. At the end of Powerless, I wasn't sad about the character, about what happened. Those who have read it know what I'm talking about. but I wasn't sad about what happened because we didn't get to know about that character. You know what I mean? And then I read this book, and we got close to all the characters, and we got another romance, and bam, then the thing happens. And it was very depressing and sad, and I finished this book in one day. That's the fastest I've ever finished a book. I finished it in in like maybe 16 hours at the most. It was so good. I was so hooked. So good. Read it. Number 4, we have Good Girl, Bad Blood. This one I read on an ebook. This one is the second book in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. And I thought it was a really good book. It was another 5-star book for me. It was so good. It was wow. But I didn't like it as much as the first book. The first book was so good. At number 3, into the top 3 now. This is really coming down to the best of the best. This book, I was sobbing for 20 minutes straight at the very end of this book. At first, I was like, wait, what's happening? I don't understand what the main character is doing. And then 5 seconds later, I realized, and I was crying, and I couldn't finish the book. And I was crying, and then I had to calm down a little bit, and then I finished the book. She did exactly what I thought she was going to do, and it was so sad, and it left you on a major cliffhanger where you had to read the next book, which, like I said, is Never Fade. And Never Fade did tie up, like, did explain how this one ended and fixed and finished that. But, yeah. This one, so good. Read it. This is the first book in the series. Just try this book, and if you don't like it, at least finish it. You'll like it at the end. But yeah, it was so good. It's a fantasy, like, magical powers kind of thing. The protagonist, Ruby, has, like, these powers, and there's this camp that she's in that's, like, that supposedly helps the kids who have these powers, which is most kids, because it's like a genetic thing, they think, at the beginning, I think. But yeah, it gets so much better. But it's kind of a slow start, so make sure you're in the right mindset to do that, otherwise you will not enjoy it. Number 2. This one was so good. It was a 5-star read for me, probably a 6-star read. So good. It was amazing and enjoyable and so well written, and that ending, wow. And this book is The Ballad of Never After. I know. It was so good. Wow, it continued the story from where Once Upon a Broken Heart left off, which, like I said, I really don't remember. But this book was so good. So memorable. I remember loving it. I was obsessed. It was so good. I do plan to reread this at some time in the future because it's so good. So good. And finally, number 1, my number 1 favorite book from this year. Like I said, not counting rereads. This book was so amazing. It's a mystery, and it is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This book was so good. I love this book. It actually, the second I finished it, I was like, alright, this is in like my top 3. And it is now. My favorite book of all time is The Host, which I did read this year, but not for the first time. It was a reread. I reread it every year. But this book was so good. It's now my second favorite book of all time. It is so amazing. I definitely recommend it. I love it so much. And it was such a good mystery. It kept me on my toes. thinking about who the murderer could be. Ignore that. That's my neighbor. But it, I don't. It kept me on my toes. It was so good. It was so well written. This book is amazing. I definitely recommend it. This was honestly an 11-star read for me. I loved this book so much. It was so good. At this point I feel like I'm repeating myself. So, yeah, but this is the main character, Pip. She decides to just investigate a little bit as her senior capstone project. She decides to investigate into a murder that happened, into like something that happened. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. She decided to investigate into a closed case that happened 5 years prior, where Andy Bell was supposedly killed by her boyfriend Sal Singh, who then committed suicide because he felt too guilty about it. They never found Andy's body, so that was evidence that was missing, I guess. And Pip decides to investigate because she doesn't think that Sal is guilty. So she and Ravi Singh, who is Sal's younger brother, investigate to try and prove Sal innocent, but Pip ends up being in danger towards the end. She ends up being in danger of her own life because she's digging too far. But yeah, this book, so good. I love it so much. Holy crap, it was so good. I'm currently reading As Good as Dead, and I'm very scared because I hear that it's very sad and will make me cry, but I'm sure it's gorgeously written. I'm about 25% through, I think, right now, and it's really good so far, and I'm super interested in how it's going. But yeah, that was my ranking of the books that I have read so far in 2025. Again, not counting this really long mystery series that I read at the beginning of the year for school, and also not counting any books that I have reread. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, if anybody does watch, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.